If you've been on Twitter, you probably heard about Twitter stans. They are one of the most infamous users on the internet. They are known for their unhealthy parasocial relationships with celebrities and artists, as well as their use of cancel culture when one of these celebrities do something as simple as a joke. Now, Minecraft stans are one infamous example. These stans, if you don't know who they are obsessed with Dream, the fastest growing Minecraft YouTuber ever, as well as members of his Dream SMP. These people are infamous for canceling their beloved content creators over a simple joke and forcing them into becoming activists expected to know every single problem and injustice out there. Now, there have been some recent events that I want to talk about, and it just essentially proves how toxic these stands are. The first event I want to talk about involves the recent Minecraft Championships. If you don't know what that is, it's essentially an event that brings all the top Minecraft content creators together and have them compete over several mini games. The most recent one was in honor of Pride Month and was a charity event that raised a lot of money. Now, on the day of the event, one of the main organizers, Smajor, tweeted out, "It's MCC Day." Now, unfortunately, this caused a lot of stans to be really angry. Now, the reason why these stans became so angry was because of some recent events in the news. Now, if you don't know what happened, essentially Derek Chauvin, the guy that killed George Floyd and caused all the Black Lives Matter protests last year, he got sentenced to 22 and a half years in prison for his crime. A lot of people were pretty angry at that, saying that he didn't get sentenced long enough and that people have been sentenced longer for crimes that are not as bad as his. And the thing about these stans is that they tend to be activists, and they were really angry with Smajor's tweets, as they believed that the tweet was overshadowing these recent events. Now, he ended up deleting the tweet and tweeted out an apology. In my opinion, this whole situation is pretty ridiculous. These stans, they believe that this Minecraft event is going to overshadow these serious issues in the world. But the truth is, it won't. These stans believe that something trending on Twitter is indicative on how successful a certain cause is. These stans, they believe that if a certain cause or injustice is not trending on Twitter, then people won't care about it. These stans really don't understand just how insignificant Twitter is compared to the internet. You can trend Black Lives Matter or LGBT on Twitter for weeks on end, and it will do absolutely nothing to solve the problems these people face. Activism is not tweeting out threads and shaming content creators who do not know about these problems. A huge chunk of these stans are involved in this misguided attempt of activism. Now, Smajor tweeting out "It's MCC Day" will not invalidate or overshadow that sentencing. In fact, let's actually talk about him for a bit. Another major problem of this is that Smajor, he's not American. Derek Chauvin's sentencing is an American issue, but these stans are forcing these American issues on non-American content creators. Dream SMP fans are global, but these stans are only focusing on American issues and expect the rest of the content creators and fans to care about it. Other countries, they're facing issues too, but many of these stans push these American issues at the expense of other issues around the world. This is another example of how the stand's misguided attempt of activism cannot work. These content creators, they can't be expected to know every problem and injustice out there, even if it's not a problem in the country that they live in. Now, fortunately, Smajor got some support from other content creators, mainly Courage and Captain Sparkles. Courage tweeted out how ridiculous these stans are in response to an event that was supposed to be a charity and will help a lot of people, while Captain Sparkles tweeted out that Smajor should not be ashamed of being part of an event that will bring a lot of good to people. Now, unsurprisingly, a lot of these stans they weren't happy, with many of them calling them privileged and stupid. In fact, here's a dumb thread that Courage was in about a stan who still believed that Smajor's tweet overshadowed these issues. Because the truth is, it won't. Now, this whole situation, it only proves how ridiculous these stans are. But this isn't really the only problem that happened around the same time. Literally the next day, another controversy occurred. this time with one of the Dream SMP members, Hannah Rose. She tweeted out a message where she criticized the stands' use of the word neg, which is short for negative. Now, these stands, they would use the word neg next to a content creator's name whenever they think they did something wrong, and would trend it all over Twitter. Unfortunately, some stands, they would use this as an excuse to tweet out some horrible stuff about these content creators, which was what Hannah Rose was tweeting about. Now, the word neg has unfortunately been used by these stands in the past, whenever they wanted to try to cancel a content creator when they do something that the stands find controversial. This happened to Tommy Innit, another popular Minecraft YouTuber. He is friends with JSchlatt, another YouTuber that is hated by these stands for his jokes that they view as offensive. These stands, they don't like that, and they caused Tommy Neg to trend. In a recent stream of his, Tommy Innit mentioned how Twitter has essentially messed up his mental health, and how he decided to leave Twitter and that he's getting therapy because of it. These stands went absolutely wild. It caused Tommy Neg to trend again, and they were accusing him of being privileged. This is the type of situation Hannah Rose was talking about in her tweet. She further clarified that it's okay for people to use the word neg to call out creators that legitimately do something wrong. However, a lot of these stands have used the word neg as an excuse to really tweet out a lot of nasty things, and the whole incident with Tommy Innit was just a prime example of that. Twitter ended up trending Hannah Neg as a response to those tweets, and I'm honestly not surprised. A lot of these Hannah Neg tweets were just insults thrown at her, and it basically proved her points. Now, fortunately, a lot of those tweets that did contain Hannah Neg were really calling out the ridiculousness of those who were insulting her, and they were pointing at how the insults basically proved her point. However, there were still some tweets that were legitimately using Hannah Neg to insult and criticize her, which is pretty ridiculous. Hannah's tweet unfortunately has been deleted for some reason, but I still find the cancellation and the Hannah Neg thing ridiculous. It's just so unfortunate that Minecraft stands, they preach about inclusivity of people from different backgrounds, and yet they engage in these types of insults and cancel culture. It's unfortunate how Minecraft fandoms have turned into this, but it's also important to realize how these stands, they don't represent all Minecraft fans. These stands are really a minority. And in fact, the majority of Minecraft fans, even those who are fans of Dream and the Dream SMP, are perfectly fine individuals. However, these stands are just so loud and influential that they are at a point where they can force an apology from content creators, which is exactly what they did to Smajor. Nonetheless, these stands are a minority, albeit a loud one, and they do not represent the whole Minecraft fandom. This will really not be the last controversy, as while these content creators continue to grow, so do their toxic stands. But I just hope that these creators will one day understand that Twitter is a minority, and that most of their fans on other platforms, like YouTube or Reddit, are perfectly fine individuals. Now, that's all I have to say. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.